Hey, man, thank you guys for watching the content, watching all of the interviews. Make sure you like, subscribe, and also leave a comment, man. Vibing with Vito. Just take 1 second out your day and leave a comment, like, or subscribe. Let's get back to the interview. Okay, we live in the crib, Vibing with Vito. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on the YouTube at Vibing with Vito. Also follow us on the Instagram at Vibing with Vito. You already know the slogan, we vibrating higher. And today I have two guests sitting next to me. I have the honor to interview these beautiful people. Introduce yourself to the people.
Hi, my name is My Love on Instagram. You can go ahead and follow me. And this is my partner,
T.Anthony Monie, and I'm the brand boss ATL. I'm on IG.
Brand Boss ATL.
And we the Bulletproof Entrepreneurs.
Let's go. Thank y'all for coming to Vibe with Vito. I have $1 million question for you guys. Everybody that sits on this couch, I asked them, so now I have the honor to ask you all. How big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail? And I like these boots too, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
How big would I dream if I knew I couldn't fail? I mean, I would dream big enough as to, create my community into a kingdom, where everybody winning, not just the Wakanda, but we talking about on some universal type stuff.
When you say universal?
We talking about planetary.
Okay.
Planet to planet, moving into the future.
That's crazy because I was thinking space too. There's no more sky's the limit. If you think about the space, then you got a lot to maneuver around. You go to the sky, the limit you cap.
Facts.
Yeah.
Right there,
So you mean you'll be traveling the galaxy, or like what?
It's about how you expand your mind. Where your mind going, what dimension you in. If you just in this 3-dimensional thing of reality that we know about, then you can only go so far.
Right.
But once you tap into where we really can go, then it's way further than this. There's trillions of stars. Why we only focus on one?
Facts. Nah, that's dope. That's dope.
Oh yeah.
You were talking about. You said one thing, one word. Well, two words. You said going far, right?
Yeah.
How did you train your mind in terms of like on your journey in life to say, look, I want to be further than what my circumstances and my surroundings and are, you know what I mean?
Well, how I grew up, I'm from a town in Ohio in Dayton, Ohio, right?
Right.
I come from a very, very, hustling family.
Right.
So I knew that, I seen how people can make money. I see, how far they went.
Mm-hmm.
Even growing up as a little boy, I said, I want to do bigger things. I want to have that same hustle they got, but I want to do stuff that I know that they won't do. They're going to take us here, but this may end one day because we know what happens with all that.
Yeah, right.
But I want to put the next generation, my generation, and the ones that come after me in a different position. So that's where it comes from, that hunger.
Like you said, we from the same family, so sometimes they call you the black sheep, but you really be the golden child.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you see stuff in a way that everybody else don't see it. A lot of people, they hustling for their family to survive and stuff, and you trying to connect the dots. And like, okay, what else is out there? And when I was young, my mom got me away from Dayton. She actually moved down here. So I was already becoming diverse because I was seeing other stuff that some people hadn't been out 30, 45 minutes of the city.
Wow.
And she was young, so I think that what I'm doing is taking maybe what she may have thought of and expanding.
Wow.
They might have limited her a little bit in her upbringing and stuff. So I think I'm just expanding what she might have thought of.
For sure.
The manifestation.
For sure. What were some of the things that your family instilled in you guys? You know what I mean? Because we already know kind of where your mind frames were growing up. What were some of the things that your family kind of instilled in you guys?
Well, my family kind of instilled...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Don't burn up in here.
Oh, gosh.
You done came in here with $1 million meat.
I was trying to show out for you.
Nah, it's all good.
Yeah, but my family, they instilled a lot of good things, a lot of bad things. So with certain things that you could take from it and, move forward, but some stuff you probably need to leave behind. But one thing that, my grandmother always instilled in us is never forget where you came from. Never think that you're bigger than other people. And no matter how big you get, always remain humble.
Right.
Because it could be taken away at any time.
Absolutely.
And so I not only, ran with that, I actually lived that every day. So I think that's where it came from.
For sure. What about you?
What was the question?
Like, what were some of the things that your family instilled in you?
Oh, well, work hard. So work hard and get a good job and go to college, all that kind of stuff. I just think I kind of took that and decided I wanted to work hard for myself.
Fact.
Once I didn't understand what entrepreneurship was or what that word was, but I decided to take that and work harder on myself.
Right.
You know, so, but it was always work hard, go to school, do this line of work. You got a good job. Why are you stopping? Why are you doing this? And I think now they understand and like thankful that I follow my own path.
Right, absolutely. They say entrepreneurship, like, so when you're working a 9 to 5, you know, you have 40-hour weeks and all of that type of stuff. They say entrepreneurship, you never stop. It's like you don't have off days. Like the moment you have an off day, it can be your, like, you know, it can take a toll on you. You know what I mean?
You got off time. And when I say off time, I mean, you can get a quick 20-minute nap here and there. Like before I came here, I laid down for 20 minutes.
It's the freedom. It's the freedom to do it, but you don't, you know.
Yeah, ain't no off days. I mean, you got to keep going even when somebody else, you know, don't want to do it. I always used to tell a lot of my mentees, you got to have stamina. And when I say stamina, I mean like you watching Beyonce come out on that stage at 7 o'clock and she don't stop till 11.
Wow.
That's stamina.
Wow.
And then you got another artist, you know, wondering why they don't make as much money as her because by the time 8 o'clock come, you tired.
Facts.
And we can see it in your show. So I say you gotta have stamina. There's no days off, and you keep going. You'll have days off later on once you reach that pinnacle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Facts.
It's the freedom for me. So there's no days off, but being able to, you know, like we were traveling a little bit around Christmas, I think, and we were waiting for my daughter to actually meet us out here because I live in Houston.
Okay.
And it just all went plummet. But if I worked like a job or at the hospital like I used to, I wouldn't have been able to, like I had to go back to Houston to bring her back. So even being able to do that, like I was worried, but I was thankful. Like, man, I'm just thankful that I can be there and I can do this and I can maneuver like this. And I'd bring her back home because I know that she was like hospitalized for days.
I'm sorry.
So then she wanted to see familiar faces. So I was able to take her back to Ohio for Christmas.
Wow.
So just being able to do that is, you know, I'm thankful for
It's
the
a
God
blessing,
in
right?
me. Yeah, you know. So.
Absolutely. I have a slogan that I always say, purpose over popularity. When I say that slogan to you guys, how can you put that in your own words?
Well, you know, like I was one of them people that, you know, be just when you say popularity, I think that my personality, my drive, my ambition brings popularity because a lot of people look at me and say, dang, I want to do what he's doing. But it's unwarranted. I don't want it. You know, I want to go to Walmart. Nobody come up to me or anything, you know. But purpose, when you have purpose and you're moving in a different direction. So you're not even worried about, you know, what people are saying about you doing or, you know, how he feel, who he's dating, you know, how much money he's making, keeping that much attention on you. Your purpose is going to drive you to go out there no matter how popular or unpopular you are, you're going to get the job done.
Yeah, facts.
You're going to get the job done.
Facts.
So, you know, you don't worry about being popular or unpopular because it's unwarranted anyway when you become popular.
And it's subjective too.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? That's somebody else's opinion on what they feel about you.
Yeah. They just look at it and most people, they admire you. And even when it's hate, it's still admiration.
Yeah.
Facts.
And my thing, I think somehow I defaultly fell into some of the cool kid thing, but I never like even when I'm falling into the cool kids spectrum, I'm still different from them. They like, man, she's like the stuff I'm talking about, the intellect, all that other kind of stuff, and they like, how do you keep this balance?
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know. I think I allow people to be them as long as they allow me to be me. So I never really wanted popularity. I just wanted to be able to do the things that I need to be able to do. You know,
absolutely.
I don't think anything makes you, but to be able to experience and God have an experience through you is, you know, that's the God-given right.
Yeah,
so
thanks.
I believe in that. I don't believe in being poor-minded and then trying to be popular. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I think everybody want to be popular at some level. I think everybody
at some level,
everybody secretly want to be popular, even though they say they don't want to be. The reason that I say that, and it's not an ego boost thing, it's a thing of being recognized. That people are recognizing you for who you are.
Right.
But you know, it is some bad popularity. You know, it's the people who the ego don't got so big. They not human anymore. They look down on people. That's the bad part of popularity. But I think every human at some point, at some level, wants some popularity.
That might be the level of being accepted.
Yeah. Can I say this though? But
Yeah.
do you feel like that's more so in our culture? Because
No.
you think that's all around?
I mentor of all races and all cultures.
Really?
Yeah.
Every race has an ego. And
Well, I know ego, but like wanting to be seen or like wanting to.
our wanting to be seen come from slavery.
Okay.
Because we wasn't able to be seen. We had to look down when we talked to certain people. We couldn't even read.
Right.
So our wanting to be seen is us not being heard, us not being looked at for who we really are. So
Right.
it's in our DNA.
So now it's like
There's
now
nothing wrong with that. Let's stop looking at that as a negative thing. Let's find a way to cultivate that and say, hey, I know that you want to be seen, but let's look at your area of expertise and what gifts God gave you, and let's expound in that way.
Facts.
So how did that come from? Well, either one of y'all. I'm just curious. I'm gonna take over your
Yeah,
show.
nah.
But how does that? So what he's saying, I feel, but I think that it's crazy because when I have women conversations with other women, or with men, and I tell them like, oh, I think she's just nagging, or I think this is happening is because I just think she want to feel heard. So I think that'd be like the whole. So how do you tell the woman like, hey, I know you want to be heard, and I hear you, but this don't got to be a fight, because I think that's why sometimes men and women have that.
Yeah, I think again it comes from a place growing up and you wasn't heard in the household,
Right.
Or you didn't have your daddy around to assure you of who you are. So you go looking at those men and say, "Hey, I want to be heard from you like you my daddy,"
Thanks.
because I never heard it before.
Right.
But when we talk about our whole community, it's definitely come from those times.
Right. I feel like too, and I love that answer too as
Yeah.
well. Like I feel like, and it's also person to person basis though, because like some people just know they naturally just have it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like how you were saying you can be around these cool people, but you just you are yourself.
It took me some time though.
Okay.
It took me some time because I think what I might have felt was different, or I felt like a pork chop was on my face because I was clumsy and stuff. It took some cultivating in me, like
Right.
to even maybe through his mentorship and
Right.
other mentorships and stuff like that, to be like, you're good who you are. No one else is uniquely you.
Facts.
So as I start getting more comfortable in that, then I could be myself.
Tell
more.
them the real though. Like
Let's keep it a bean. Let's not flex on vibing with Vito.
we try to put y'all in no family business.
Nah.
but
Put us in the family
I got a
business.
family full of women, right?
Okay.
So we all know, we talk about this colorism stuff, right?
Okay.
A lot of women will look at certain other women and they start judging themselves based on what society say. Hey, that's what you're supposed to look like. That's the best looking person. But hold on, let me finish. So we would have these conversations, and I say, you said you don't like your body and all this. You know how many men and women are looking at you and saying, dang, I wish I was big, nice, and voluptuous just like her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the things that we hate about ourselves is
Somebody loves it.
Somebody, man, wish they had it.
Facts.
So I feel like that is a part of us not really accepting who we really are. We're trying to be something else subconsciously.
Right.
So a lot of times you'll tell yourself, "Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this." I even with myself, being a black bigger dude, I used to, when I was younger, I didn't like it because you see all the basketball players in school, you see the people that everybody wanted, you say, "Damn." And then I had to realize to myself, man, you 6'2", you dark skinned. This is what these women want.
Right.
Whoever it is, this is what
Right.
they want. And when I started telling myself that, my confidence level just came to like here. So that's why I could be in a room full of guys who they think they look a certain way, and the women still come talk to me.
That's crazy. Yeah. So I just feel like, again, like it goes back to the person basis too as well, because it's like it's always gonna be something that you see in yourself that you're like, dang, I just wish I can tweak, or I wish I can do that. But that also comes from like working on yourself too as well.
Oh yeah.
To develop that
some stuff we should work on.
that confidence.
Enhance, and it's you, so you can always go
Enhance
towards
it,
being
yeah.
the best version of you. I'm not against any of the stuff that some people do to enhance or whatever, because you only got you to work with. I can't. Me and you can't sit next to each other, and I have a comparison with you. You're a different color than me. Your hair is different.
We different.
All this other stuff. So
we supposed to be.
We supposed to
So
be
I
different.
can only work on me,
Right.
So okay, if I want a breast lift or any of that stuff, like probably try some push-ups and do that stuff, because that's working with the mental stuff, and I already work on mindset anyways. I teach people about mindset, so you want to work on your mental and your mindset before you even start doing those changes, and you embody what you want to become. Like, you have to already see it before it happens. If you
That's real.
If you go and like lose a whole bunch of weight or go get some BBLs and all that other stuff, you don't even know how to handle that stuff, or you just screw up the investment because your mindset hadn't changed and you didn't embody it.
I didn't never think about it like that. That's a dope point. For real. Dang, that's crazy.
And also, you know, you got to look at it like this too. You know, confidence is happiness and confidence is the same thing to me, because
hand in hand.
The more happy you are about yourself, the more confident that you are, right? So even if you know you need to enhance some stuff, I'm 270 pounds. I know I need to lose 35 pounds to be at my normal weight, right? But that's not taken away from my confidence. My confidence is set, and I know who I am.
Right.
Now, if I want to go enhance and work on myself and make sure I'm the healthiest version of myself, then yeah, I need to stay at the gym 5 days a week. I need to back away from the table a little bit. But that's my own personal observation of myself. It's not for you to observe me and tell me what I should be. You know, so I think everybody should do some self work.
Yeah, facts. When you said normal weight though, like even when I hear stuff like that, it's like, who died and made the doctor boss to say you need to drop this?
My high blood pressure did.
Well, I'm saying for you. I'm just saying. But you know that about yourself. That goes back to like knowing yourself and what you want and enhancing yourself. But like even with these, I didn't mean to cut you off, but even with these like doctors, bro, like, or people that tell you like, hey, you need to do X, Y, and Z.
But you got to be careful of the information and where you get it from.
That's what I'm saying.
How you feel though, like if you putting bad stuff in your body and
you know what you're doing,
you at the 600-pound life, or even like that lady that was just on TMZ,
the
Uber driver. Like,
oh my goodness, can we talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Like, bro, I mean to cut you off.
That's crazy,
bro. Okay, you're suing them. Hey, get your coins, your coins. But why didn't you order a bigger car? Well, like, that's my thing, though. If you know you're 600 pounds, you should get an Uber.
I'm gonna play the devil advocate on that part.
Or the big Uber.
I'm gonna play the devil advocate on that part.
So
don't get a Prius.
Even though the lady,
she's been cheap.
Even though
there you go.
She was. I'm not gonna say that. Allegedly, the lady ordered an Uber. She has somewhere to go.
You can
right,
say it, bro. We on vibe.
But okay,
it's okay.
But you know, I would say this to that. It's a pro and a con to that, because you know whether how big she is, and she ordered an Uber, she don't know what car is coming. So do she need to order a Suburban every time she needs a ride?
I mean,
her pockets may not dictate for her to be able to.
Well, you don't need to
that.
ride, baby. You can go MARTA. You can go MARTA.
You can go Frontier. You know it's too little. You know, you can't sue Frontier when you can't. When you trying to,
you can sue them.
You can go charter bus.
So you sit next to me and then she order a seat. She can't just say I'm going to do 2 seats and she didn't pay for 2 seats.
Well, that's not the rules in Uber.
Now think about this.
Uber didn't set that guideline for. I think it was Lyft. Let's make sure we're naming the right company.
It was Lyft.
I think it was Lyft. They didn't set the guidelines and policies.
Can I play devil's advocate?
It's independent. So they saying we don't have anything to do with anything. Right. We didn't know.
So go ahead.
We didn't know that was going to happen. Like, we don't do a weight check or whatever.
Right.
That man did that underneath his discretion.
Right. Because think about this. Imagine if she got in his car and he was driving and it's scrubbing, right? And then your bumper comes off or whatever. Who's gonna pay for that?
Or no, someone just rear end them and they gotta get the jaws of life to get them.
That's
off.
what I'm saying. So
like, I understand. I'm on both sides.
But why put yourself at jeopardy, right? By just saying
that lady didn't have no money. So she ordered the cheapest Uber.
So why would you?
that she could possibly
I think it's safe to say that.
So that obviously she didn't have no money because she's suing them now. So she's trying to get some coin.
But that's the thing. All they got to do, if I'm Lyft, I'm standing on my business, like, bro. Yeah. And I'm not gonna call you like big in court, but like, bro, like that's why we have options on what cars that you need. Like
the lady is she's a nice size. She's a big girl.
So you need a nice size. You need a nice size.
She's a rapper and everything, and that goes back to what we was just talking about.
Working on yourself.
Like you need to go work on yourself, and you can't fit in some cars. I mean, I try to help you with the devil advocate thing in the beginning.
Do your thing.
But the thing is, if I was 5 or 6, if I was 5 or 600 pounds, I would definitely be trying to order me a Suburban or something that I know that I could fit in.
For sure. You
know, being honest.
Yeah, because I think it's going to, again, so I understand like that it may be a case or whatever, but what I think though, when that type of stuff happen is going to make people, like, at the end of the day, you have a health problem. You're huge. Mm-hmm. And now everybody is going to just ignore that they're big as fuck and then say, we ain't going to lose weight.
Like, come on, man.
Or any of this stuff. And now it's body shaming at any time we can't fit in something.
And we're not trying to do that.
I think there should be standards to obesity. You know, I think that, you know, it is not fat shaming people when you know that you're fat. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So 600-pound life put them in the back of the van.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
mean,
But you heard what you said? Van, not a Prius.
They put them in
Or
the
whatever
back, though.
because
If you think of
There you go.
everybody, I ain't gonna call them names, but I have been watching a little stuff. Everybody that has fought these, quote unquote fat cases, a year or two later they die of heart attacks or something else that really you did have a health problem and you're just mad because somebody's pointing out your flaw.
Was that after they sued Lyft?
After
I'm
they
just
sued, whoever they sued, after they had these cases, most of those people are, usually die of some type of health issue.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
think it's not our.
Let me stop being
concern,
mean.
But I think that she should at least consider like, dang, like this was so embarrassing. Instead of me, because it's a blame game in this moment.
Right.
You're still not being accountable for you. Are you not going to
She's
lose
just
no weight?
embarrassed a
What
little
happened
bit.
is it embarrassed you, and you saying, "I'm going to make you pay because you embarrassed me."
Right.
And I'm, the rapper or whatever. Like, are you going to, because this is a learning experience for her. Like, man, maybe I should get on the treadmill. Like, you don't have to be like how we started earlier about what's the perfect size or whatever. No one in my family has never been 110.
Nah.
So that's not my body frame. Even if I get the best body frame and, I work out and all that stuff, I don't think I'll ever be 110 pounds.
Right.
Right? So to get at her good health, it should be like her eye opening, like, let me work on myself instead of let me be so embarrassing. So I think that she's handling it very emotional. How sometimes, like, I don't always agree with the conversation that people have online with women not accountable or anything, but that's a whole subject
If
of
it
not
was a
being
man,
accountable.
if it was a man, and we complained about being fat, these people would be.
They'll be killing us in the comments.
I mean,
Well, unaliving us in the comments.
But since it's a woman and her feelings got hurt because she is fat, let's just be honest. I mean, and she's not just she's not thick and curvy. Let's stop with this I'm thick stuff because we know the difference between thick and curvy.
The butt is in the front.
She's actually morbidly obese.
Yeah.
Morbidly
So
obese.
I think that, so she's not being accountable and she's being delusional, like how and I hate that she even is making this out
You
of
said
us
the butt
because
isn't. You said the butt is in the front. I was trying not to laugh the whole time, bro.
But I be standing with us, but she basically is making me look bad because she's not being accountable of the weight.
I be seeing them podcasts with them guys that be fat shaming the girls supposedly, but all the women to be on the woman's side even though they know that lady's too big.
Like, that's crazy.
And not being honest,
Let's switch gears a little bit, man. Shout out to her. I hope she gets her coins. What inspired you both to become entrepreneurs, and how did your journey lead you to bulletproof entrepreneurs? Yeah.
My journey started at 12 years old. I met a lady at the candy store, and she asked my mom. She said, I'm going to be doing a thing where I can help kids sell candy over the summer.
Right.
You think your son would be interested? And I said, yeah, I want to do it. And I started selling candy with the lady, going from different towns, from different suburbs and stuff from where we lived at. And I became the number one seller at 12 years old
for candy.
I even sold more than the lady who got me started. That was an adult.
That's dope.
So at the end of the whole summer cycle, I was supposed to get, like, I believe at that time, $1,300 was a lot of money for a 12-year-old.
You had $1,300 at 12,
and she gave me $200. And so at 12 years old, I said nobody else will ever be able to control my money. I'll make my own money and I'll count it. And the lady didn't think I can count, but I was a whiz kid at 12 with math.
Right.
And by the time I got to high school, I started doing stuff, putting on productions, went into college, moved to Florida, started doing music, rapping, singing, producing, putting on shows, left that, got into the network marketing industry, became one of the top earners in the industry.
That's dope.
And then I started coaching and mentoring people, and I found out that that's where the money was at.
That's dope. Can I piggyback off of that too as well? So, like, coaching and, mentoring, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that that's a God-given talent too as well for you, or is something that you were just like, man, you know what, I'm good at it, let me just try to kind of capitalize?
She'll tell you I've been coaching and mentoring since I was a little kid.
Yeah, it's a story I always tell sometimes. He's like one of the oldest kids. They had to watch the other kids. You know how the black family do.
Yeah, facts.
So he would get us together, and it don't matter what we was. If we were playing choir, if we were playing school, or any of that stuff. And he was like always the teacher, the choir director, and telling you what you can do. Right. And you looking like, I just want to like play with this Barbie doll. And he like, nah, get in line, and we're about to do this. And you attention. You're just in it and you're doing it and you have no idea, and he's already telling you like what you can do, or at least having you explore what it is that you're good at.
Right.
And then he's pushing you to doing it. So
dope.
I can remember when we moved down here in the early 2000s and somebody needed a makeup done. And I was just putting on eyeshadow. That's all I was good at, putting on. Well, I guess he was thinking if she could do that, then she could be a makeup artist.
There you go. There you go.
And
we was on a set for a video shoot.
yeah, he was recorded, and they lost their makeup
We need a
artist.
makeup artist. I said, hey, I got somebody. I said, my cousin, she know how to do makeup. And
Did you mess it up?
Destroyed that lady's face.
Oh my God.
Terrible.
Safe to say they ain't want you to do it no more.
Hold on. I got good skin. You know, not to brag, but I really got nice skin. Is hydrated, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know nothing about this stuff. I don't know when people got like issues, skin issues. So she had all these pimple things on her face, and she got this concealer, and she's like, I was like, what do I do with this? She's like, I just put it on so I put all the concealer on each bump. And I'm like, now what? She was like, I just rub it through. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I started rubbing it on, and I was like, yeah, I'm creating this. But if I would have kept going, I probably would have been a good makeup artist, because he's seen, like, if you could do that, you can go further. But he had just seen that 30 minutes before that happened. So he's always been a good director in helping you guide, like, what it is that, you know what I'm saying, that you want to do. So
go back to answer your question. I do believe part of it is a gift, but I believe that it's a learned skill too. You know, we all got some type of gifts, but they have to be enhanced.
Wow.
Like, just because you can sing don't mean you're going to be able to go up there and captivate a 10,000 room crowd.
Right.
You know, but the skills that I learned from my mentors and coaches, and they took what I could already do and enhance and instill different things into me and pointed out what my real gifts and stuff was. So, yeah, I think it's learned. I think it's God-given gift and a learned skill.
That's dope. That's dope. So we're going to shift to you.
how did I get started?
No. Transitioning from healthcare to financial literacy and business consulting. What motivated you to do that shift?
So the healthcare, I didn't even know that I was going to have a business. My grandfather just took sick, and I wanted to be able to take care of him. And I opened up a home for him, and I needed to support it. So I had to go out and market other individuals to be in that home so that we can pay people to, you know, run basically a small nursing home. So that's how the business started. And I just betted on myself. I didn't know what I was doing at all. And I just kind of felt my way up. At the same time, he had just reached out to me about the financial literacy in a network marketing company. So I was earning while I learned that too. But I didn't necessarily know how to grow teams. And I had started a business that I didn't even know that I was starting. So I had to end up picking one. So I learned the financial literacy, and I kind of just tucked it. I knew about it and all the other stuff. I knew I kept from that day on, I kept my stuff up on point.
Right.
What happened was my healthcare during COVID, it slumped. And it just slumped down it wasn't because of, I think the healthcare is really a bulletproof business too that people can go for. But I had partners, and we just kind of like start shifting off. We had some legal matters in the business and different stuff like that. And it just ended up having to dissolve. Yeah. And at the time I'm in Houston and they're in Ohio.
Okay.
So I'm asking myself in Houston, what is it that you know how to do easily that you're not going back home? And at this point, this business has dissolved. What are you going to do? So I'm like, credit. And and then it's shifted so much. It's 2022 now. I started that in 2016. So I'm like, all right, let me get back out here. Let me make sure I learn all these systems and all that kind of stuff again. And I'm living off of credit too, because from the healthcare, I'm getting like $10,000 a month. To where one day I just got a $300 check, and my bills is at $5,000, and I'm like, oh shit! And I got maybe about $20,000 saved, but that ain't shit if money going out $5,000 a month.
Yeah, fact.
It's gonna be. I had car note, rent, all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? I started door dashing, and I just was moving around, and I thought about, I know how to do credit. Let me get back out here in this credit game. So then I'm like, I don't want to do credit and on the mediocre side.
Yeah.
People thinking it's a scam, like I'm fixing their credit, or they not really following the directions, and they screwing it over again, and they like, what's next? I'm like, I need something else to offer with this.
Right.
I want to go after people that's trying to start businesses or that's already entrepreneurs, so that if their personal credit is good, we can already get them business credit. And it just went from there.
That's what's up.
So that's how I kind of shift. So once it went from there, I'm like, okay, now I want to be able to help any entrepreneur or a person that have a hobby be able to scale their business and make something profitable instead of just saying I got a business in LLC.
Right.
So, that's kind of how I traded it. Because still in it, one thing I'm an expert in, if they don't have an idea what to do with their money, I could still teach them how to open up home cares.
Now, that's dope. That's dope. That's big. That's major. What's your why, both of y'all? What's your why? What's your mission? Like, when it's all said and done, what do you want to be known for or praised for? What will bring you the most fulfillment?
To see the next generation. Well, we all know that, our ancestors, we like the dreams that they all dreamed about, and I think we have come to a point, especially my generation bringing in the first black president, my generation having more millionaires than any generation before me in our community. So the next generation should be able to 10X that. And I would like to see way more people in our community leave the workforce, go out there and start making our own money, putting our money together and having real power. We got $1.2 trillion that we blow for Gucci and everybody else all year long. Why not take at least a 10% of that and go out there and rebuild our own society? Not saying, go back to segregation and separate, but we know the issues in our own community and we don't need other people's help. We just need to help ourselves. So I hope that the next generation learn from what my generation did and 10X it. That's what I want to see.
Facts. Branding plays a huge role in your company's success. What are some of the key strategies you recommend to entrepreneurs looking to build a strong brand identity?
Well, I also have an individual company called T.Anthony Consulting and Marketing, based here in Atlanta, Georgia. But what I see, what brand strategy that I use for every new person that, I come on board or want to work with me is I tell them, once you have your business established, the formation and all that, and you come up with a nice name and it's very marketable, you got your logo and stuff. The next step is we need to figure out, once we get you funded, where does the money go? And I always tell people, if I get you $100,000, I need you at least set $25,000 aside for branding and marketing. You cannot sell a product without nobody knowing what it is. You're going to need branding and marketing, but we know, and not just keep deflecting on our community, but, most minorities, we like the shiny ball syndrome. That means that we want something to look nice before it's even built. I want the Mercedes, but I haven't even, seen how a Camry works first. But I want what I see other people have. So we'll go take the 100,000 and we'll put all that money into one thing. And then when it's time to scale your business or have some ad spends or hire a consultant to help you, organize the business and help you make more money, you don't even have the money to pay those people. Because you took all the money that you were supposed to invest into one thing versus saying, let me put a quarter of that away for my branding and marketing. So when I call T.Anthony Monie or we call Myla for some mindset coaching, I got money to pay the people to help me scale my business.
Facts.
Absolutely. And branding with me, I'm still learning, but that's why we partner together, because it's about taking each person's strength and, pulling it together. So when I kind of get confused or not knowing what to do with the person that I'm mentoring, I, reach out to him and say, hey, can you look this over? So it only made it right for us to partner.
And I'll send her an invoice.
Yeah.
That's dope.
But it only made us right to then partner, because that's what was happening. And we were already individually partnering. So why not let's create this course called Bulletproof Entrepreneur.
And remember, your brand. Ain't nobody else going to represent you like you. Later on, you might want to hire some models and stuff to wear some of your clothes or whatever, but you are your biggest brand. So why not? If you're going to invest into anything, you might as well invest into
yourself. Facts. Scaling a business can be challenging. What advice do you have for entrepreneurs who started but struggle to grow? Besides what you just said,
Get a coach. Get you a coach and a mentor.
Okay. So how do you differentiate, what coach is real and what coach is fake?
Because somebody that's doing what you want to do.
Okay,
so that's doing good at what you want to do.
I would say let's take you for. I mean to cut you off. Let's take you for instance. You got a podcast. I don't know everything else that you do, but if I was a younger person and I wanted to start a podcast and I knew you, I would reach out to you and say, hey, I want to start a podcast. Can I sit down with you, or how much would you charge? To even teach me the basics on how to do it, or how can I get in some rooms where you're around your peers? You want to get in those rooms where those people are at. If you do hair, why you in a room full of workout people?
Facts.
Yeah, so you want to find someone that's doing good at what you're doing. Because some people do have coaching programs, and some people can just coach you and may later on figure out that they can start a program, but they're really doing good at what you want to do. So I don't think that you should go ask. A lot of times what discourages people from going further is we ask our peer that is working at Wendy's with us. And they say, man, we can't do that. And then they just give up on their dream. So you got to find somebody that's doing good at what you want and go be with those people.
Build those relationships, communicate, put yourself in position.
Pay to get in those rooms.
If it costs $300, save $50 a week so you can get in that room when that event come. You got to be the person who say, you know what, if I'm going to be like Vito, I need to be where Vito at. What I'm saying? Because proximity is everything. Yeah, so if you living in these small towns,
right.
I like that, man. Shake my hand on that. I like that.
Right.
You living in these small towns, and you know that there's nobody doing anything remotely looking like what you want to do in your small town. You got to get out of that place. That means you got to leave that place. And if you love home that much, you can come back later and bring up some more people. But you have to leave that place. I left at 20 years old and moved to Orlando, Florida, where I didn't know nobody. My family was scared. They were scared. And I was even a little scared because I was a young dude and didn't know anything. Right. But I left, and what I was able to bring back, and then, came to Atlanta and became this person who I am. People from back home look at me like, man, that's crazy how he was here right here with us, but he was able to go down there and do that. And now I'm back in Ohio building a wine and tea lounge. Right here.
Go ahead, shout it out.
Saoko Leaf and Vine, right? This is what we're building. It's a wine and tea lounge in Ohio. And guess what? We putting it back where we came from, but we left, got everything, and brought it back.
That's dope.
So proximity is everything. I wouldn't have been in the room with some of y'all biggest stars and reality stars and people y'all know if I had still been in Dayton, Ohio my whole life, made 10 babies on child support and living the same story that a lot of my friends got.
Ooh, he is so right. But because, sometimes people think when you give them information about conventions and stuff, they kind of like,
shy away from
those people, this, and they make it like these people are some aliens or something. But really, it's just not, you're not used to it. So my first time being in a convention, I think we went out to Vegas.
Yeah.
And I was just able to see a whole different light. Like, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what they were doing or any of that stuff, but that opened me. And you don't know, so the younger you are, you need to get in those rooms. I was in my
early
mid-20s at the time. So, I just put my son in a room like that. He's 19. So, I'm like, the earlier you get in this room, you might not get nothing from it, but you're going to start seeing
exposure.
It open your mind.
Facts.
So just go expose yourself to something, even if you don't think you got a whole bunch of $300 stuff. You just got around different people that you're not around every day.
Leave those small towns. Ain't nothing wrong with a small town, but small town is a lot of small thinking.
Facts. I'm going to ask you a question, too. As a mindset coach, what are some of the mental barriers that hold people back financially and entrepreneurial? How do you help them push past those limitations?
Some of the limited beliefs that hold us back is something that happened probably in the kindergarten or the third grade. Somebody got you to read out loud and you stuttered, or a boy that you like said, I didn't like you back, and you fear that rejection, or vice versa, a girl. So rejection itself. So if you're in the entrepreneurship world, it's still the same thing. Like, I got to go out and find leads. I'm afraid of rejection. So now I don't do anything. Forget it. I'm just going to go to work because at least they got the job created for me. So to get through that rejection is a limited belief that keeps people limited, and you got to break that cycle, and you got to see, like, what am I afraid of, or what exactly, like, it's always just me versus me. Mm-hmm. And what was the other part of the question?
Oh, no, just what are some of the barriers that hold people back?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether it's financial or in, being
sometimes people don't even think that they deserve, they're not worthy of $2,000, $3,000 or whatever. So they cut themselves short. They do just as a good job as the next person, but they might be like, oh, you could just pay me $200. Oh, you could just pay me $500. And that's fine if you're getting social proof. But when you starting a business, like, what are you really worth? You know what I'm saying? So if you like, hey, this is really $10,000, but I'm going to do it for you for $400 because I just want to get my name out there. Then you training for that. You're not training because that's all you think you're worth. Right. So it's just having the self-worth and, the belief in yourself. And you got to push it.
It's a $10,000 podcast.
And let's
it's a $10,000 podcast.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And let's face it, most people, like she said, don't even believe they deserve the money. You look at some of your biggest, black billionaires, in our community, we rather see us fall down fast than to see us succeed.
I was just saying that too as well. It's
we'll tear us down faster.
We feed off of that.
We feed off of that because of the way we think. We don't even think that we can make $1 billion because, you ain't even seen 10,000 in your account before. So for that person to be making $1 billion, that means that they doing something wrong. They demonic. Something happened. It's some group that they're a part of. And that's not necessarily always the case. So in our mindset, we could see another person that don't look like us do the same alleged crimes that they saying one did, and we won't say nothing. We'll just say, oh, well, that's what they do. Thanks. But as soon as one of us, we already guilty before we even went to court. And so our mindset of surrounded by money, a lot of us got money blocks. I got a mentor, which is, man, I love this lady, Dr. Nicola Smith Jackson. She taught us about money blocks. And it's certain traumas and tragedies that we had in our past that allows us to have that negative thinking when it comes to money. And you don't know you got a money block. Every time you get your income tax check, it get blue in the first week that you got it, and you just got 10,000. Because your money blocks told you were supposed to give your money away to other people.
And you get it right back down to the number that you think you deserve. So most people don't panic again until they get to that $2,000 number or that $200 number.
At least I got 2,000.
Yeah, and they spend it. If they get to 10,000, they try to hurry
up. I hear that so much.
They get back down to that number that they're used to. So, it's just about when I'm ready to let go of the old self and step into my new self. And it's the unknown.
Yeah.
Facts.
And with me, like I said, I come from a very prolific family. And I seen a lot of money. We talk hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I was never afraid to see a lot of money. And I knew in my head, man, it ain't nothing but a whole bunch of zeros. Facts. If you just keep adding zeros, that's all. It's nothing else. Money is an imaginary thing. It's not even real. But, so when it comes to thinking about when I started making my first 10,000, I was like, okay, this is all right. But I wasn't making the 10,000 and spending the 10,000. I was making the 10,000, didn't know nothing about brokerage accounts, didn't know nothing about healthcare accounts, didn't know nothing about retirement. I started looking for people who knew that stuff. And I got with those people. I opened up my first brokerage at Charles Schwab. I got my healthcare savings account. I also started my retirement accounts and stuff. And I did that on my own, putting a little bit of $500 a month into those things. And started. I didn't get no real education about it, but I had to put the money somewhere.
Thanks.
I said, hey, if I'm gonna wear Gucci, yep, I like Gucci. If I'm gonna wear Gucci, I gotta go get some stock out of them people. I gotta feel like I own a little bit of it. I'm not gonna just wear your brand and I don't own something of it, so now it's like I'm promoting my own brand.
That's dope.
That's dope. I hate when people say, all black people do is want to spend their money on designer. We've been doing that for the last 150,000 years. We always gonna look good. That ain't nothing new.
Yeah, right.
And we're gonna have the best. That's just who we are. But are you investing to be the best?
Yeah, dope.
Are you investing in yourself to be the best? Right. You know what I'm saying? So if you just wearing it just to be wearing it, then you just a fan. But I'm an owner,
right.
So I want to own something. So,
right.
That's what I say, those money blocks and stuff. We can switch that stuff around, unlearn our parents' bad behavior because they didn't know. Even though my mama was in healthcare and she made a lot of money, she didn't do a lot of the right stuff with her money. And I watched her, and some of those bad habits I took on too. But when I unlearned it, I went back and taught them. That's why my mama's credit score is stay in the 700s and she don't buy nothing because of me.
Damn.
You don't need that, mama. You don't need that. Don't spend that on that.
You just ask yourself better questions. Like, sometimes it's even how our thinking pattern is. So, like, one of the mindset is if I say, like how you said, it's a $10,000 podcast, instead of me saying, shit, I can't afford that, I'm asking myself, how can I afford that? Yeah. I'll be right back. Like, don't ever count me out, because the best investment, like, it's not, and I always say it's not on me, it's in me. Like I'm gonna put everything in me. So if your price is your price. Now I got to figure out how can I afford that? How many credit people I need to fix? How many cakes I need to sell? Like whatever that is. So once I find out stuff, instead of saying that ain't for me, I can't. It's asking a better question. How can I?
Yeah. Facts. What's one piece of advice you wish someone had given you when you first started your journey?
Don't go to clubs. Don't hang out with the wrong people.
Clubs.
Do you?
Yeah. Don't drink anything. Don't smoke any weed. Even though some people said that, it still wasn't okay. You're telling me not to do X, Y, and Z, but why? What's making you tell me that? And luckily, I learned earlier than most people. You know, I don't go to clubs. I don't drink. I don't do anything like that. But I've done that stuff before. And like I said, I pulled myself out of that stuff earlier, but I see a lot of younger people who don't have people around them telling, hey, if you walk into that man's house, this could happen. When you sneak out of my house and go into that person's house that you're going to, this may happen to you and I can't protect you. Usually it's a defensive thing. And then when you get caught doing that, the parent usually scolds you, beat you, whatever, but they never tell you why, the real reason why. The reason why I'm telling you not to go in that house, because when I was your age, I went in somebody's house and this happened to me. So I think that, we don't have those conversations. We get caught up, in all this stuff. We look at TV and we see these people and forget these people just like us. They're nobodies.
Yeah.
They got a little money and they acting wild and fighting on TV, and then somehow it becomes our reality too.
Yeah.
So I feel like, it has to be taught. I wish people would have told me stuff earlier. That's why I tell my nieces and nephews.
Yeah, I think it's the transparency. Like, back in the day, it was like, you a child, I'm not going to tell you this, and that. But I think that actually when you like 13 and 14 years old, that's the time when you thinking and exploring. And really, if you think about it, that's when the kids start, a pimp can get them, drugs come, all that kind of stuff. So that's where it's really been influenced. So I don't know why the mother or the father, whoever's doing the raising, don't be transparent. Instead, they keep their secrets.
They did it too.
They keep their secrets from them, and then later on, they learn like, oh, you did all of this stuff, but you don't know. So you constantly like trying to be accepted and prove, and you getting embarrassed. Like, my mom didn't never do anything like that, because it's never telling you that, hey, this happened to me. This is the reason why I'm asking you to be in at 9 o'clock is because I got snatched up. The reason, because then you will understand more, right? But if you just think somebody just on your back and just riding you, just telling you what to do, you like, I don't really understand this. Like, I'm fine. I'm just at my next door neighbor house.
Hey, man, and most parents just told their kids they love them. That's probably enough that most of us didn't get.
Yeah.
So we all wish that we had something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you can, you ever been in one of your friends' house and they got they family like is well put together and it's loving environment and you seeing stuff and you like, damn, I love my mom and them, but we don't do that. And as a kid, young kid, you don't understand that. And everybody's household ain't the same.
Yeah.
And that may not be as perfect as your mind told you it was at that age. But if more parents and family members and people that were close to these children even told them, hey, I love you every day, that'll do more power than me even telling you a whole story.
Facts. Wow.
Yeah. So one of my biggest things is I just wish someone would have told me that you don't need a lot of money to do anything. You just need the right mindset and the right strategy. And
the money will come. Yeah,
you just follow your foot. Like, it'll start. Doors are open for you if you're going towards something. It'll open up.
Yeah.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. Before we get up out of here, I have one more question, and then we'll go into vibing with Vito shout outs. That's the fun part.
Okay.
With the weight of the world on your shoulders, success at the palm of your hands, how do you respond when adversity knocks at your door?
I already know that it's going to happen. I already know that all times ain't gonna be good times. I already know that one day you're gonna be making a lot of money. It's gonna be some days you lose a lot of money.
Right.
So if you already have that type of mindset going into whatever you're doing, whether it's success or failure, because failure is a part of success, I think that you'll be fine. You also need to put some things in place to bulletproof yourself when it comes to business. And that means that, like those accounts I was telling you about when you start your business, open yourself up some of those accounts. You ain't gotta go study and learn how to do stuff, but at least, take $100, put it into your brokerage. We know that the stocks ain't number 26 cent. Go and buy you 10 of those stocks with that 500. Take another 150 per month and put it on automatic coming out your bank account. And even when you're not thinking about it, you're still making money in the stock game and you don't even know what you're doing, but at least you got started. So I feel like you have to put yourself in those positions. You got to know that failure is coming and you just got to keep going and don't stop.
Fact.
Yeah, and I think failure isn't really failing. It's if you stop, because it's gonna come. Like if you don't know how to drive a car, the first day you don't get out there and do good. So I just think you have to push through. And when certain stuff feel tight, just know that. For me, I take a nap and then ask myself, hey, can you make it through today? Is your lights on? Do you got some food? Your phone on you? Do you have everything you need? Instead of saying, I know it could be tight. Like if you got 20,000, I think one time somebody, swipers took like 30,000 out of my account.
30,000?
And I was on my way moving. And that right there could have stopped me from moving. And I just got up underneath the covers for 2 days because I really kind of got scared. Like, man, is this stopping me? Is this and that? But I had to just push through, think I did everything I was supposed to do, and then I trust.
Right.
So if you either trust what people call God and stuff, you trust the universe, or you don't.
Yeah,
so I'm going to trust that I did everything, and I'm going to still keep going. Like, if I lose the $30,000, should I go jump off the bridge? You have to, that things are always going to happen.
Right.
So push through and, again, ask yourself a better question. How can I do this? How can I make this happen? And am I so stuck in my mind that I'm so far in the future that really right now my life is okay? I mean, I got something to eat today. I just need to make it till tomorrow.
Facts.
So that's how I push through stuff when it's been a bad day, knowing it's how you respond to it.
Facts. I probably would have crashed out about that 30,000. I would turn into a YN.
Most people.
Let me stop playing. Let me stop playing. But nah, man. This segment of the show is Vibing with Vito shoutouts.
Okay.
You have the floor to shout out anybody that you want. Let's go. Vibing with Vito shoutouts. Let's go.
All right, first I want to give a huge shout out for Vito for bringing us on this platform and, allowing us to, even serve in this capacity. I want to give a shout out to our podcast coach, Brendan Boyd, who even made this thing possible for us while we're on this promotional tour for the Bulletproof Entrepreneur. I want to shout out, everybody who support the Bulletproof Entrepreneur, support our platforms and, riding with us all the way to the top. So, shout out to you guys. Kudos and, thanks for tuning in.
Oh, yep, you're right. I'm with him. I don't know who to shout out, y'all, but I'm going to shout out Vito and definitely Brendan Boyd. And then my mentor and coach, T.Anthony Monie, he's been by my side and rocking. So I just want to, thank him while we're on this podcast together.
Thanks. I'm going to make sure I tap in with y'all, too. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all came on my platform, but I want to also support you guys in whatever way I can and also learn, too. It's all about networking and stuff. And shout out to Brendan. He's a great guy, bro.
Oh, yeah.
He came on my podcast, and then we just became brothers ever since. So,
absolutely.
He's a great guy. But thank y'all for coming to Vibe with Vito. Tell the people where they can find you.
All right, you can find me on IG at the Brand Boss ATL. You can also find us on YouTube, the Bulletproof Entrepreneur.
My Love 2004. That's MILOVE 2004, and that's City Spin Solutions on IG.
It's been another episode Vibing with Vito. This was a classic episode. Thanks for the good time. It's been another episode. You already know the slogan. We vibrate higher, and we gone.